This is the Oklahoma Talking Company. Welcome to Activate Your Strengths with Rhonda Boyle. StrengthsFinder 2.0 is an analytical assessment created by Gallup Corporation, and many people today are using it to change their lives, improve their relationships, and enhance their work experience. This is the podcast where we explore using your natural talents and gifts in your personal and professional development. And now, here's your host, Rhonda Boyle.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Activate Your Strengths show. My name is Rhonda Boyle, and I am excited to be here with you today as we talk about all things StrengthsFinder. We talk to real people about their real lives and how their talents show up in their lives. And I am so excited to introduce my guest today, Jason Baffrey. Aren't you excited to have her in the studio? Can you believe the energy that has come in?
She's like a whirlwind.
I know. And let me just tell you about her. She is the founder and editor of the OPLife.com, which is dedicated to inspiring others to living an on-purpose lifestyle. She is also a best-selling Amazon author, co-author actually, of the book Fabulous New Life. She is married to Peter and has two adorable children, Margot and Costa. And she's also the momager, which is mom manager, of Honestly Margot, which is her daughter's company. And she's a teenage entrepreneur. So with that, I'd like to welcome Irene Gianos.
Hey, thank you for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Rhonda. I'm delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to have you. And I just remembered that you were my very first friend when I moved here to Oklahoma City.
Yes, I hope I welcomed you well.
You did. How could I not feel warm and welcomed by you? So, okay, so here's what we do. We always start with identifying your top 5 talent themes. This is the StrengthsFinder 2.0 assessment by Gallup Corporation. They have 34 talent themes, and your top 5, tell me what those are.
My top 5 are number 1, intellection, number 2, input, number 3, activator, number 4, adaptability, and number 5, communication.
There you go. All right. So tell me, first off, what happened? What was your very first aha moment? The moment you got those results back and took a look at what it was?
The first thing that I said to myself was, so that explains it. That explains it. I get it. Everything made sense about me, who I was. I'm always about learning and growing and becoming more. So I wasn't searching for anything, but I'm always about learning more about myself. Right. And it was just very telling about here is what you are. And it almost was like, there's no need to apologize for what I am. That is my DNA. That's what I'm made of.
That's it. I know. That's who you are. And
Yes.
they give you 5 simple words and simple neutral descriptions that you can then identify with.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
so what we're creating here is a common language. So I know that when you tell me that you're intellection, input, activator, adaptability, and communication, I know a little bit more about who you are.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's really fun. As Jason mentioned, you blew into the studio, which
Yes.
is, you
Thank
always
God
do.
I have that adaptability. That's for sure. It allowed me to just whatever happened earlier this morning, go with the flow.
There you go. But the fun thing about it is that you appear to be an extrovert, but you're not.
Right. This is so true. People think that I'm a woo. People think that I'm so out there. And while I love to be out there, I love my personal inside time.
Yes.
My quiet time, my brain time. Mm-hmm. I love being alone. I love having my thinking time.
And that's really driven by your number 1 talent, your intellection.
Yes.
Who'da thunk?
Yes, that's right. That's right. I was always like this kind of a little bit of a brain person.
Yeah.
But I never thought of it that way. But learning more about how intellection works, it makes sense how I love think about things. And sometimes I overthink. That's not a good thing. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. I overthink things sometimes. It feeds into other things, which I can't stop thinking. And so it's like, stop, brain, stop.
Well, but this is why you need that time alone.
Yes.
People with intellection have to create space for themselves so that they can be alone. Exactly.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned something very important, and that is that it's both a curse and a blessing.
Yes.
And the reality is that with each of these talents, they come with a very deep and profound need, such as your intellection needs time alone. And if you don't get that time alone, then you get triggered. Mm-hmm. And then you are no longer operating in intellection as a strength. It becomes a weakness.
And I notice, it's so funny because I notice when I don't have that quiet time, when I don't have that alone time, I get fidgety, I get antsy, and I'm like, everybody, shh, quiet, leave me alone. I need to be by myself. I need alone, So, it's totally makes sense.
Yeah, I always encourage people with intellection to make sure to schedule that time as a busy mom and a momager and an editor and all these things that you have. How do you find that time to be alone?
It's so funny. I've never scheduled it, but I think I've indirectly, planned it for myself without realizing it. Like, these are my time. This is my time.
Sure.
These are my hours that I do my own thing, that I don't like to book appointments, that I have my own space. And if I do have to do things, and that's fine, they end up showing up in other pockets of my day. And if not, it comes out in the middle of the night.
Oh, no. So like you're driving, you always make sure that you have time for driving. That's when you do a lot of your intellection.
Oh, yeah. Like, I didn't plan on doing this podcast, but I was like, oh, this is a good time. Let me do that.
Sure.
Yeah. And, well, that's more of a, activator. And that's when I got lost driving. Anyways, whatever. We'll go on to that later.
That's funny. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, now, your number 2 talent is input. And so people who have input love to collect things, collect information. Mm-hmm. You're really all about gathering data and then sorting it and archiving it for later use, like either for yourself, or maybe you want to be a resource for other people. Mm-hmm. So how does that show up in your life?
It's so funny because Pinterest is the first thing that comes to my brain.
Exactly.
Because I'm always pinning things, and I could, when it first came out several years ago, I found myself obsessed with it, and I could be on it for hours, and I could just lose myself with the thought of just gathering this information and the possibility of, these piggyback upon each other. Mm-hmm. So the input with the intellection of, what I could do with that, and what could you do with this and that. And so all of that compiled, I would just organize and gather. But I mean, even beyond Pinterest, I'll find things, articles and things for myself, and I'll email them to myself. And if I even knew how many things I've emailed myself, and have I gone back to them? Of course not. No.
Well, you probably don't need to, because people with input have a photographic memory.
Yeah. Yep.
So you kind of know where it is if you ever need it again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or if somebody else needs
recognize that, I know I saved that. I can just dig it up.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll recognize that.
Yeah. Now, before when we were talking, you said that this has always been present in your life, but of course, before technology and Pinterest came along, tell us what you did.
Oh, yeah. And so it's funny, and I don't know how unique this is to me, because I remember other women at my age at that time doing the same thing, and maybe they have input as well. But I remember, before the technology, I would tear out magazine articles, recipes, home, decor ideas, travel ideas, craft tips, things like that I would, it would put them in clear slickers and put them in notebooks to save for when I would need them, a recipe. I still have those old recipe books. And, anyways, it's interesting. It's funny, but.
Sure. Now, so people with input, I have it number 6, so I'm a big saver too. Mm-hmm. And we tend to hang on to our resources just in case. So tell everybody when you actually got rid of those notebooks.
Well, I got rid of them out of my laundry room just a few weeks ago. I have a gal who helps me. the Cassie Project, and she takes care of me. And so we moved him out of my laundry room into my attic because I still yet
Oh,
cannot
you still have
I
them.
still have them.
That's funny.
Just in case.
Just in case. Isn't that
Just
funny?
in case. Yeah.
And that's exactly what people with input do. Now, you also collect things. What exactly do you collect? Do you have collections of fun things that you just cannot pass up another one?
I collect Italian Florentine pieces.
Wow.
So I collect. So I used to have them sprinkled all in my house. I have an armoire that has them in display. I hate to say I collect bags. I mean, women collect shoes and jewelry and, lipstick. I mean, I can't get enough. In case I need this one, it's got a little hue of this. I gotta have it just in case.
Sure. A little birdie told me that you collect fingernail polish too.
Yeah, fingernail polish. I've got a big case of them, and I, when they start, separating, I'm like, well, I guess it's time I need to throw them away.
Yeah, or when the new colors come out, you have to have them, even though they're not quite.
Yes, that's on my blog post today, actually. So,
isn't that funny?
Yes,
that's funny. Yeah, we do tend to collect things. You know, we're
just
little
in
pack
case.
rats.
Yes, we are.
I know. We just can't help ourselves. So tell me about your activator. Now, activator is that talent where you just jump into things. You don't think about them, even though you're a thinker.
Yeah.
You don't think when you're ready to act. You just dive in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, what usually happens?
I will go, okay, did I make a mistake? I'll rethink about it afterwards, and then it's too late. I've jumped in.
Sure.
There's a Greek phrase that says, "Bikes to horo tora horepse." You got into the dance, now you've got to dance.
Uh-oh.
So that's kind of what it is. I remember doing with the OP Life.
Sure.
I remember I started my blog 3 years ago, and I knew I wanted it to be this place of inspiration and motivation and personal growth, very much what StrengthsFinders is all about.
Sure.
But I also found out as time passed, I had all these other passions I wanted to share as well. So when I came up with my name, the OP Life, On Purpose Life, On Purpose Lifestyle, it fit that deeper part, but now it's making the other part, the fashion, the beauty, the interior design, and how bringing all that into full circle, how that all comes into play with living a purposeful and on-purpose lifestyle.
Sure.
And it actually ended up working out better because all those things make such a difference in how we live.
Right. But oftentimes people with activator, I have it too. So we'll jump into stuff and then go, uh-oh.
Well, and I did. I had that. Uh-oh. Oh no, now what did I do?
Right.
But like I said, like that Greek phrase, now dance with it. And so really it turned out for the better because I made it work. And it's not that I made it work. It truly does affect us. It really is. So
sure.
I feel like all those things do have a role. So it does work.
Yeah, it does.
It ended up not being an oh, it ended up being a great thing.
But oftentimes we jump into things and then we really learn from our mistakes. So we're okay, right? If I were to ask you what's your biggest mistake, could you tell me?
No, because I don't think they're mistakes.
That's right.
They're all learning experiences.
Exactly.
There's no mistakes.
No mistakes. I remember having that in an interview one time, and I couldn't answer the guy. He's like, come on, you've done something. You've got to tell me something. And I couldn't come up with anything.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds like, oh, no, I'm perfect. No, and it's not. That's not it. Mm-mm. It's just, I don't look at it. Just like in StrengthsFinders, we don't say we have weaknesses. They're all strengths.
Yes. Well, so you learn with your activator, you learn by doing.
Absolutely. And I say that. And I always say I learn as I go. I jumped in with both feet, not knowing a thing about the blogging world. Nothing. I knew nothing about SEO. I knew nothing. I'm still learning. I can't tell you all my numbers because that doesn't matter to me as much as just doing the do.
Right.
And doing it right. And doing it to my best. That's what matters to me. So I learn as I go. I didn't know anything about WordPress. I just learned as I went.
Sure.
So,
and that really, some people have a hard time with that, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Because a lot of people, that fear and that lack of knowledge holds them back from doing something, from jumping in. And we're never going to learn it all. We're never going to know it all. So you've got to jump in and take a risk and take a chance.
Sure. It's a great attitude in life that's taken you far, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So really, with your activator, you actually lead the way for other people because you're fearless.
Yes.
That's one of the hallmarks of activator is that you are fearless.
Right. This is true.
I happen to know another business that you jumped right in with, and that's with your daughter, Margot. So tell us how that went.
Well, my daughter, she's right now, she's 14. When she was about 8 years old, she always started trying to come up with ways to make money and to have businesses. And I was always like, oh, just be a kid. And she would come up with things like having an online art business and wanting to make cat toys and make cat collars. And, we would watch Shark Tank and we would discuss it and be like, is that feasible? And is that right? Is that something that you could really have as a business? And I would always try to just encourage her to be a kid because there was no need for her to do any of this. But I saw this thing burning inside of her. And this final product that she came up with, which is her lip balms, which are
fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. It was an amazing product, and she was selling them hand over fist. And one day we were looking for stickers and labels and what is she going to call it? And my light bulb came on as a mom and as a wake up moment, aha moment.
Sure.
And I just said it without even thinking. That's where the activator comes in. And I said, Margot, you've always wanted to do something. If you really want to make this something bigger, let's stop with the stickers and the little homemade stuff, and I can help you do it the right way. If you want to make this a big company, I will help you. And we don't have to be like any other young women who've done this in LA or New York. It can happen right here in Oklahoma.
Homegrown in Oklahoma.
That's right. It's not only for big cities that we read about in those magazines. It could be you. There's no reason why it can't be you. So if that's what you would like, I'll help you.
And then you had no idea what you were doing.
And I'm like, whatever. I know about marketing, but as far as anything else, I learned as I went. And I still am learning as I go on all of the things that we do for her business.
Activator reminds me of a quote, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something like when you jump off a cliff, you just grow wings on the way down.
Yes, you jump off a cliff and I'm growing my way. That's exactly what you said to me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you do. You just go with it and you trust that it's all going to work out at the end, and it usually does. And if it doesn't,
oh well.
You learn something.
That's right. That's exactly right. We learn from it.
Yeah,
and grow.
Yes. And lead others.
And lead others and learn from that for other experiences in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about your adaptability. So, do you mind I tell the audience exactly what happened today?
No, that's fine. It's kind of funny. It's silly.
So you were multitasking, shall we say, and you went the wrong direction on the
internet. You can tell them what I did, yeah.
Well, go ahead. You tell.
Okay. So I'm driving on the way over here, which is not a smart thing. First of all, I don't advise you. I mean, to come up with do these hashtags, activate your strength. Okay, that's a long one. Hashtag Strengths Finder, and these are not things that you normally use that are saved in my thing.
Right.
And so I decided to periscope what I was on my way to do and living a life on purpose, and that this is so meaningful and that other people should take a look at taking this and looking into this.
Sure.
And in the process, coming to the recording studio, this was not in a familiar part of my city. So I missed my exit and I'm looping all the way around the city to get here, all because I had this one idea but I made it happen, and I said, that's fine. I called her, let you know.
Sure. But it didn't get you all bent out of shape.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
As long as I let you know, that was my concern.
Sure. Sure.
But it is what it is. We roll with the flow.
Exactly.
We have to.
Well, that's it.
It's life.
That's with adaptability. People with adaptability are very flexible. And so what you really do often, that was a little mishap, but it was no problem at all for me either.
Yeah,
I happen to have adaptability kind of high too. Uh-huh. But for the most part, people with adaptability serve others by transitioning them through change. So really that's what you do, is that when things change, you turn and you just roll with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, guess what other people do? They follow.
Oh, yeah.
They roll with it right with you because you lead the way. This is how people with adaptability lead, is just by bending and flexing in through some kind of change.
Yeah.
So,
I just look at it like, why not be flexible? I
Sure.
mean, why be, I told you yesterday, I said, I'm anti-stiffy. I don't want to be stiff. Why be stiffy? Be flexible, go with the flow and just enjoy life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that people with adaptability may have trouble with is actually making commitments.
Yeah.
But that's not really the case for you.
No,
So
I really don't. I try to prioritize. If I have my calendar, I will never back out of things. I will never, pardon me, I will not say back out of things. I will never no-show. Mm-hmm. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do something unless something comes up that seems to have a higher priority, which it's, and I look at it not that, that's more, I want to do that instead. It's really about priority.
Sure.
Of if I book the speaking engagement, but then there's this one-time thing for my kid, I have to put them first.
Well, yeah, you only have that one chance, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. But as long as I have my calendar in front of me so I can see my paper calendar.
Yes.
I'm the old-fashioned way.
Me too.
That way I don't double book things or, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem committing.
Yeah, good, good. Well, but that everything you said is tied to that paper calendar, so you have to
I've got to have it. I have to have my calendar. That's right.
So tell me about your communication. That's your number 5 talent.
Yes.
Well, we can hear you're quite articulate, and that's a hallmark for people with communication. They don't have any problem putting their thoughts into words, and you do that very well. But some people with communication who are high in communication can also write. Mm-hmm. And that's where you are very gifted.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So tell us how that comes about or how that shows up in your life.
Well, there's lots of things I do. I do, well, first of all, my website it's a blog, so I write on there daily.
Right.
But it's a mixture of words and pictures because I love beautiful things.
Yes, you do.
So, but I'm a writer for my blog. I also write for the Outlet Mall.
Sure.
I write for our local outlet mall, and I'm about to be writing for the entire company, the outlet malls in the United States.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
I know. So I'm going to be the outlet mall girl.
Yeah. So with your communication,
shops,
you've actually become a contract writer.
Yes.
And this is how you earn your living. Or earn a portion of your,
yes. That's exactly right.
Sure.
I do Splurge magazine. I have a feature in that every month that I am a contributor to that. I've done in the past when we had a local TV show that was on a local channel that's no longer in business. I had a segment on there, a lifestyle segment. So I love to talk and I love to write.
Yes.
And
you're a prolific writer.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you.
Because how often do you publish in your blog?
I do every day, 5 days a week, almost.
Yes.
I'm slowly giving myself permission if I take a day off or two, but consistency, that's one thing I learned is consistency. If you want to grow your business, consistency counts.
And a lot of people who have blogs or love writing, that's where their problem is. And it's easy for you to write.
Yeah, it is easy for me to write. If I have thoughts, once I start, I'll just go with it and I'll lose time. It's not always easy, but most of the time it is. And once I go, I roll with it.
So are you thinking and then your thoughts come out in the writing through your fingers? Is that sort of how your communication
absolutely.
and
Like I just start,
together?
and I don't even have to look at the keyboard. I'll just go and my thoughts will just come out. And I'll just, and a lot of times if you read some of my writing, it sounds like I'm talking to you.
Well, it always does when I read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of your fans.
Yeah.
We'll have to get your autograph before you leave. So yeah, that is really a gift, your gift of communication showing up in written form.
It's both. I mean, it's both. When you asked me at the beginning, what did you think when I took my test and I saw those 5? And the first thing I thought of, honestly, was this communication. And I remember my parents always going to my parent-teacher conferences as a child and them saying, Mr. and Mrs. Vrentis, your daughter is a beautiful, bright, intelligent girl, but man, can she talk? And I thought, well, There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I've mentioned here before that I found my 7-year-old report card, and I have communication also. And
Lord.
checked on the box by the teacher
Talks too
was,
much.
yes,
Talks too
cannot sit still and talks too much. So that's activator in communication. And it's still true today.
Yeah,
I have the
I know.
same problem
We
all
both
these years
do. I
later.
know.
I know. We don't really change much. That's
No.
the funny thing is we just mature in our talents, right? And so a minute ago, we were talking about how your writing is really your intellection showing up through your fingers in
Right,
words.
right.
And one thing that I just wanted to remind the audience of is that we break these talents apart as we study them, but in reality, you are always using them together. And you're combining them, and there's a process called theme dynamics, which we can get into through coaching, where we can show you how each of your talents affects each of the other talents. So, for example, someone who does not have input, let's say, and has communication, they may have a completely different way of processing, their writing or their talking and so forth. So it's all very interesting, isn't it?
Oh, well, I'll tell. My discipline is at the very bottom.
Oh, girl, I hear you.
My and and I struggled with that because I was always like, I can't get myself to I've got to do my blog, even though I love to do it. It was that everyday thing, but I knew if I wanted it to be something significant,
Yes.
I had to do it daily.
Yes.
And so that pushed my discipline, that worked that discipline, even though it's on the bottom, it made me disciplined
Yes.
to get it done.
Which is different from the talent discipline, which must create order.
Okay.
So they're completely different.
Okay.
Right? In the way you're using it, you're just using you're probably, now I know you happen to know all 34 of your talents.
Yes.
And number 6 is maximizer.
Yes.
And number 7 is significance. So probably that significance and maximizer are working together to
Propel me.
Yes, and inspire you to
Yes.
write in your blog every day because you
Right.
know that you're going to get the maximum benefit.
Right.
And then you'll get significance. People will learn who you are, and it'll help you make a greater impact.
Yes.
Which is what significance is wanting to do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I would love for people to say, oh, wow, I learned that because of you. Or,
Well, yeah. In fact, you had that happen recently. Tell us
Yes.
the story about that.
Yeah, there was a gal that she posted something on her Instagram with a company called Minted, from a company called Minted. And I said,
they're a
and I
stationery
liked it.
company.
It's a stationery company, right? And so I said, oh, I love that. And she goes, I learned it from you. And I just said, oh my gosh, I didn't dawn on me the impact that the things I post really do. Yesterday I posted my favorite jeans ever from Target, the most comfortable jeans ever. 2 phone calls yesterday. I'm not kidding you. Okay, I just have to tell you, thank you. These are the best jeans ever. And I'm like, okay,
I have to go
made
buy a pair
difference.
now.
Yeah, I made a difference. Yeah,
There
they're
you
buy
go.
one, get one 50% off right now.
So you, with your significance, you want to leave a legacy and you want to make an impact. And that's
Yes.
the whole thing. People
Yes.
don't really get, it's not about the selfies and the spotlight
No.
and
Yeah.
being on TV or on the radio. It's really about your impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a talent that's kind of misunderstood, and it's actually very rare in the top 5. It's only about 5% of people have it. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
well.
for you to have it close, high up like
high
that,
up there.
not
Yeah.
very many people do. So, but it really has more to do with that legacy piece, right? Yeah, exactly. And then your maximizer, you said it's always about more, bigger, better.
Yeah, that's right. It's never good enough. It's never good enough. I want to make it bigger. I want to do better. I want to improve. I want to do more of that, do better in that. That's, yeah.
Sometimes you have to, though, accept.
Yes, that's
Right.
what I work on.
Yes.
Learning my talents and learning these strengths makes me know the basement view and
Sure.
the balcony view and
Yes.
know when I need to go, okay, that is enough. Okay, and turn it off. Okay, when to stop.
And sometimes you have to have an accountability partner that you can pop off ideas or
Yeah.
share your concerns or
Absolutely.
considerations around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really how it all helps you grow using these talents.
Yes.
One more quick question, because I know you've done some deeper work in this because you've had a coach. And
Yes.
that's really
yeah.
significant, isn't it?
Yes, he was awesome. One of the things that he helped me figure out is ways to free up myself and farm things out to others so that these things can be at their ultimate best.
Sure.
So because when I was having all of this clutter brain, and I can pass this off, okay, delegate this to someone else. These are things that you don't have to spend your time on. Someone else can help you with it. Someone else can help you with that. I went, and I'm so much freer, so much more happy, so much.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is all about creating those, what we call strategic partnerships. You know, your marriage is a partnership.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
you need partnerships in business. But by having the talents identified, then you can figure out how to farm out that work,
Right.
how to delegate to the best person.
Right.
And so forth. So it's really significant to be able to have this information, especially when you're working with other people.
Yes.
Because it improves your communication and it improves that balance and that partnership and the sharing the workload and making sure you don't get caught up in doing something that you really are not gifted. I am so grateful that Jason Baffrey is sitting in that chair right there because he is the one who gets to run the technology. I don't have to because I'm not gifted in it.
Right. That's exactly right. I mean, those are the things that he helped me identify. Go, okay, you can give this to this assistant. You can give this to this person. You can get an assistant. Why not get an assistant?
Sure.
Especially if you have this overload of stuff. And this overload is creating clutter and stress. And it's not allowing me to have that intellection because that intellection is cluttered with other things I have to do that I'm not.
That drain your energy.
Right, right, that I don't need to be doing.
Exactly.
Right. And the strategy, the other person that's the strategic that I'm not, or,
Yes.
yes.
Sure. It's everybody. We all need a little help from our friends, don't we?
Absolutely. I'll take all the help I can get.
I know. Well, I am so glad that you came in today.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
just fun
asking
having you
me.
on. And so let's, if you will, tell our audience exactly where they can find you.
Okay, perfect. Well, you can find me at theoplife.com, and it's the word THEOP, which stands for on purpose, life, LIFE, theoplife.com. You can follow me on Facebook at theoplife. You can follow me on Twitter at theoplife and on Instagram and Pinterest. Same
Wonderful.
thing. So,
yeah,
yes.
Great. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here
for
today.
having me, Rhonda.
And if you'd like to connect with us at Activate Your Strengths, we can be found at activateyourstrengths.com. We are also on Twitter at Activate Strong. We're on Periscope at Activate Me, and you can find our Facebook fan page at Activate Your Strengths. And we'd love to connect with you. We offer coaching and consulting for corporate and for personal transformation. You can find workshops on our website under the workshop tab. So we'd love to have you come join this community, Activate Your Strengths here in Oklahoma City, where we are blazing a trail, helping people become the best of who they are and using their natural gifts and talents. So we thank you for joining us. This is Rhonda Boyle here, signing off, and go live in your strengths. Bye, everybody.
Activate Your Strengths with Rhonda Boyle is a presentation of Oklahoma Talking Company. Learn more and listen to other great programs at oklahomatalking.co. This has been a production of Destiny Creative.